Everyone excuse us. We just started a little bit late, kind of got carried away. We finna hit the live. We got the live button going. So let's get on with the show. Be respectful and enjoy. Share, 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 and make sure you hit that like button. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, all right, all right. Grown Men Talking Incorporated. Welcome in, everyone. Make sure you share, 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 and set your notification because we got something sweet for you. So tune in live. Okay, now we want to also give all appreciation over to the ones at Facebook, both pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and also Tan TV, which is watching on right now. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as we breaking chains through the month of October for domestic violence as Mr. Braden Carter comes over to discuss the broken barricade. And make sure you tune in next Friday as the handsome men of Grown Men Talking come to you with the side chick unwanted baby. I wonder what they got to say about that. So make sure you set that notification. This is one topic you don't want to miss. So now we're going to head it over to the one that's hosting the show today on Daddy's Girl, Mr. Dez.
Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Welcome in, everybody. This is Mr. Dez. I will be your host this evening for today's topic, Daddy's Girl. And I do have along with me my brother from another mother, Mr. DJ Mac Jones is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. What's up?
Yeah. Oh man, this is a good topic here. You know, Daddy's Girl. It's something about having that daughter. You know, I'll start off with this experience because I was there when both of my children were born. But It was something I don't know what it is. It was something special about when my daughter was born. First of all, she was in such a rush to get here. She wanted to get here so bad, and she got here quickly. And the first thing that she did when I held her in my arms, she just smiled at me, and I said, "Why stop?" And she literally laughed at me. I'll
Right,
always remember that moment, and just
right.
watching her grow up and develop into the beautiful woman that she is today. It's it's such a beautiful sight, a beautiful thing. Brother Mac, you wasn't have how did it feel when you had your daughter?
I got four of them, so
Woo!
I have four daughters. So, hey, my daughters are wonderful, all from my oldest down to my baby. So from Destiny to Mecca, I have wonderful little girls, and my daughter Mecca, she has a twin brother. So, man, it was just a wonderful experience just being there for their births and seeing them. From the age of what 20 to man, I think I had Mecca. I think I was 33. Yeah. So yeah. It was a wonderful experience for me, and just to be there and know that these young ladies have grown up today to be exceptional in the things that they do and the choices that they make. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better team of young ladies. So I love them.
Oh yeah, and there's the other thing about it. And what other thing that made my daughter's birth so special? With my son, we had a few complications and took a few times for him to get here. But
Uh-huh.
I prayed about it. I prayed and asked God for a daughter. I asked God for a daughter. I stopped smoking cigarettes, my tree. I stopped drinking for 3 months straight. 3 months, nothing. And I was blessed to be able to conceive a daughter. So I'm just that's my personal testimony that lets me know that God does answer prayers. That's another thing that was special about her being here on this earth. Um, and
Absolutely.
just what do you feel are some essential things that we as men may need, to make sure that we rear or that we bring our daughters up in the right way? Because me personally, I kind of feel like I neglected my daughter, as she was coming up, because I wasn't there, but you know, for a father who's been around and with his daughters as much as you have, and what are some of the things that you think that helped you along the way, for one, to help raise them the right way, and to actually be a dominant father figure in their life?
Well, I was an inexperienced father, right? But
Hmm.
in being an inexperienced father, I will say one thing that everybody says about me, and so it went in my household, and that was education, not indoctrination. Education was first. And so I would take my girls out and show them things and ways of the world and talk to them about certain things. And we would sit down and we would have open floor discussions, and they would watch things with me, and then I would ask them, well, what you think about this? What you think about that? And so even now, my 19-year-old she'll be 20 in January. She came back to me. She said, Dad, I remember when you sat us down for this and you sat us down for that. And you talked to us about this and that. All those things when I was a little girl, they always stuck with me because I always knew that we was going to need that stuff that you was talking to us about. And so I think that the most key thing that I did in my little girl's life was to teach them to think outside the box and teach them to think for themselves. And so, with that said, those girls are extraordinary critical thinkers, and I love that about my daughters.
So basically, you instilled in them like you said, to think outside of the box, to be a creative thinker and a problem solver. For lack of better description.
Absolutely. I told them don't rely on nobody to solve problems for them. And in fact, I was one of the fathers that would tell my daughters, I say, it's all right to cry over things at times. I say, but what you have to remember is when the tears dry up, the problem still exists. So if you're gonna cry, just don't cry too long about it. Just make sure you get it out the way, get the tears, get the hurt out the way, get the pain out the way, and then let's tackle this problem. Don't be sitting there wallowing in problems because it'll make you depressed and feel bad about things.
Oh, most definitely, because, and then even, like I said, and my daughter, she's turned 21 this year, so shout out to my baby girl. And y'all can go and check her out. She is on YouTube as well, Life with Lejeune. She has her own YouTube channel. She's, very entrepreneurial. Um, and she's learned a lot. She's learned a lot, and she is doing very well for herself, at least in my eyes. And I would say that even though I wasn't there for her, I do believe that she did have genuine hearted men in her life that helped her along the way, especially dealing like in her grandfather. Shout out to JC, you know. So,
Right, right.
and it took some time because we're still working on our relationship, and I need to call my baby girl. I need to call my baby. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to call my baby and talk to her and say, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" You
Right,
know?
right. Hey, sometimes it be like that, because in our inexperience, we do things the wrong way, and then in our growth, we say, man, like wow, I can't believe those were my decisions back then. And if I could do it now, I would. But you can do it now. That's the thing. You could do that now. Just
Hmm.
just uh just remember to understand that whatever arises out of the child as you go along as a result of your bad decisions, just be patient with the child and let her know, like, yeah, let him know, like, yeah, but we're talking about daughters. So let her know, like, yeah, I understand how you feel. And I was wrong in my feelings in that. And that's why I'm talking to you now. So, not that we can make any amends, but so that we can move on from what has happened between us in the past. And let's try to build something beautiful for the future.
Oh yeah, cause see, and because I find myself sometimes having a lot of regret for not feeling as if I was there for her as she was coming up, and I found myself once I got into other relationships, trying to be more of a father figure for my mate's children, her daughters, and I find it also it's kind of kind of troubling, and I think I was trying to overcompensate, so to speak, for not being there for my daughter. Are there any things that you think that you probably coulda, shoulda, or would have done differently to maybe instill even more values into any of your daughters?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, see, I was an old school parent, so I was very hard. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I could have softened up a little bit. And the thing that I wish I could do now is to take them back and make them understand that I was young. I mean, I had my first daughter when I was 20, so I was young, I was inexperienced, and I wanted the best for them, and I wanted them to come out way. And they have superseded my daughters have superseded me in ways that I can't even describe. And I wish I could have just softened up the blow a little bit, just so they could understand that, hey, daddy just wants the best for you, and that's why I'm on your tail, like I'm on your tail, because
Right.
I really, really need you to break this generational curse that's going on in the family, and be the first to break out and succeed and have a healthy mind state, and not to be out searching for love from nobody, because you got all the love that you need right here from your mother and father. We got y'all.
All right. I couldn't have said that no better than that. Because I like, and I find myself sometimes just really, really wondering what if I was there, because as you said, you're the old school parent, you was kind of rough. I was very hard on my son, very hard on my son.
Mm-hmm.
And and me and him, still, talk about that to this day. But when it came to my daughter, I wasn't there. But when I'm even to this day, I'm real soft-hearted when it comes to my daughter. I really am. It's almost like if she was to call me right now and say, "Daddy, uh, I need you to get down here," I would have to try to break my neck to try to find a way and see what was going on.
Ain't nothing else
Because
to talk about. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, it's like not only still kind of feeling that, and I'm just being honest with myself, still kind of feeling that regret or that internal suffering for not being there for her the way that I feel or I know that I should have been, because it's not like I did not have examples of what good fathers are. So I can't
Absolutely.
say I didn't know. I can't say I didn't know.
Right.
But we make choices, and sometimes those choices affect other people around us. So I'll if there's anybody out there, when we get a chance, don't forget, when you can, the number to call in is 512-668-2814. That's 512-668-2814. And we are discussing Daddy's Girl, the need for a father to be in his daughter's life, the need for that father-daughter relationship. Because I do believe a lot of times, now this is just my personal opinion, don't quote me on it. I didn't graduate from college. I'm a proud dropout of Jackson State, so I didn't get my degree. But I believe that sometimes the relationship that a father has with his daughter can also affect her in the relationships that she chooses later on in life.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I had somebody, when I was out there bad. When I was out there bad, I was a womanizer. I had somebody ask me, "What would you do if your daughter brought you home?"
Hey, before I get into that, King D, we see you, brother. Definitely know that you coming back. Our love, support, and prayers is going to you and your family. I know what's happening, and we all just want to send our love, prayers, and support to you. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I mean, I would be so happy if my daughter brought today's me home.
Today's me,
Today me, right?
the one that done been through it and learned some things and changed some
Right.
things about
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. The one that's more serious minded and less recreational as far as the BS goes. When we had our time for the recreation, that's what we did. We indulged in the recreation, and that's what I'll call it for this
Right.
segment. But the one that thinks ahead now, it's like life for me has switched into being recreational to being an absolute chess game. And so I'm thinking 3 and 4 moves ahead of the next move to come. Before that move even comes from the other side, I'm 3, 4 moves ahead of that. So whatever you do, I'm already locked in on what you gonna do, the possibility of what you gonna do, and the absolute possibilities of what you didn't do. So in that day and age, I can sit down like, okay, for instance, me and my daughter sat down a week ago, and she got her heart and soul locked in on Ohio State. She's talking about going to college down there in Ohio, and I'm like, well, Daddy gonna support you whatever you need. She's like, thank you, Daddy, because I need you, I need you, I need you. And to so much of the benefits of things that I'm paying that attention to what she's saying to me, and so my mind is, listen, now my mind is switched over from, it's not only about me now. It's now that my kids are grown, now it's like more than ever, the chess game has intensified, right? And I got all girls. So if the chess game is intensified and I got all queens on the board with me, that means they got the power to do anything they want to do. And we'll finish when we come back from this commercial break in 2 and 2, everybody. We got you.
daughter's first love. Today we're going to discuss 5 things a daughter needs from her father. First thing is your attention. So here's what I mean by that. I see a lot of situations where the father can be in the household and present in a daughter's life, but doesn't show her attention, isn't connecting with her on a deeper level. So your presence is good physically, but I need you to be more present emotionally. I need you to be more aware of her, and I need you to show her attention, initiate conversation with her, showing her that you care. These things are very important, because again, I've seen so many times where people will say, yeah, I grew up with my father, but we didn't really have a relationship. We didn't have anything beyond him being in the house, him providing for me, which again, yes, that's great that you provide and you protect, but with your daughter, you got to go a little bit deeper than that. And you got to make sure that she feels that attention from you. So maybe sometimes go out with just you and your daughter. If you have multiple kids, you can still have little moments with each specific one, or if that's your only child, just make sure that you take some time where it's just you and her. Those moments go a long way, and your daughter will remember that for years to come. So tip number 1, she needs your attention. The second thing a daughter needs from her father is to know that she can come and talk to you. All right. So a lot, again, it goes back to what I just said, where a lot of fathers may be present, but the lines of communication in that relationship are pretty shut off. And your daughter doesn't feel like she can open up to you and be transparent and really get your guidance on situations. And that can be very dangerous, because she's going to go through things in life. She's going to deal with men in general, and she needs your opinion, your guidance, your insight on things. So you want to make sure that she understands she can come and talk to you. And in order to establish that kind of relationship, you can't fly off the handle when your daughter tells you something that she doesn't like. You can't be quick to jump to being biased and being an overly protective father. Be a protective father, but not overly to where you're being ridiculous to the point that she now feels like she can't tell you about this. She becomes scared to let you know about certain things. Remove that fear from her and help her understand, no matter what it is, you want her to come talk to you. You want her to open up to you. And again, when she feels that level of emotional safety with her father, the bond between daughter and father will strengthen big time. And it will also strengthen her ability to not get involved with garbage men. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. Like the stronger the relationship between daughter and father is, the more likely she will not entertain good for nothing men that do not belong in her life. So open up that line of communication with your daughter.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Also, make sure y'all tune in tomorrow as the Unspoken Heart brings on Mr. Britton Carter during Domestic Violence Month, where he be talking about the broken barricade right here, same time, same place. Make sure you set those notifications because he got something to tell you. Also, make sure you tune in next week to Grown Men Talking Incorporated as they talk about the side chick's unwanted baby. That's going to be a spicy topic. Let's see what's going to happen right here. And I'm going to hand it over to Dez.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I was sitting here listening to the video and watching the video, and I was paying attention to him, and I was actually agreeing with him, because I believe that now this is just me dealing with some relationship I've had where the female, her father didn't really pay her too much attention, and she would become kind of clingy, or expecting that man, me, to be her father, and so I would say I do agree with him on that. Your daughters do need your attention, because I feel personally, if you don't give your daughters the attention that they need, they may start to seek it from places that they don't need to seek it in order to get your attention. Do you think What would you think about that, brother Mac?
Um, well, just look at what my daughter just put in the chat. You see, it's right here up underneath. You see what I'm saying? It's always better to talk to fathers because they have different understandings on different levels. Now, that takes the person that's always paying attention. That takes the person that's always aware of what's going on. Now, I will say, out of everything, that's one thing that I can say I was experienced on from the jump is the fact that, us being men and us coming from the hood, us coming from the street, that's a no brainer. We're going to definitely pay attention to our daughters off the rip because we know what's outside these doors.
Right.
And so that's why I tell you, back when my children were babies, what I would do is I would take them outside and explain different factions of people to them and say, look at this person, or look at these people, look how they're behaving. Is that something you want to be involved in? Do you think that's something that's going to further your life? Do you think you want to be out here like that? Look at how they're dressed. Do you think they could present themselves in a corporate situation? Look at how they present themselves. Things like that. Those are the things that I believe if you're going to be attentive as a father, then the attentiveness comes in taking not only your daughters, but your sons as well, out here in the real world and showing them what's going on in the real world instead of just sending them out there blindfolded so they can be blindsided. That's how your kids get. That's how they get hurt.
Yeah. I can't agree with that 1000% because and like China was saying in the chat, you know, my daughter being able to talk to me, that's something that I want her to be able to do at all times, like regardless of what the topic is, regardless of what it is. I would pray that she would be able to come to me and ask me to maybe it could be something that I've went through or something that I've seen someone else go through. I may be able to give her some type of knowledge to where she can get through what she's going through. And just not on a daily basis, but it could be something touching her heart that she really needs to talk and needs a man's honest opinion about. And I would love for my daughter to be able to come and talk to me about anything, you know, so I like I said, I agree with that 100%. I do feel that fathers should be able to talk to their daughters, and their daughter should be able to a daughter should be able to talk to her father because what we've been through can help them get through what they're going through, even if it's something small or minute. It could just be one little piece of advice, like you stated. You would take your daughters out and you would show them, look at this person, look at that person. How do you think that's going to act? How do you think that's going to affect you? How do you think
Right,
that's going to affect me if I see you acting like that?
right.
you know,
Yes,
so
absolutely. It,
you
it's
know,
called it's called attentiveness to problem solving. When you're paying attention to what's going on and you're solving your problems in the correct way, I think we have a call. I think we have a call.
No, that was Dez that had a call.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
you know how it
Okay,
is. People know you're
so
doing something, but they don't know you're doing something.
right. Hey, I'm busy. I'm busy. But yeah, it's it's teaching your kids at a young age problem solving details so they don't fall into the slump of early depression that gives them things and thoughts like uh, I don't know, unaliving themselves. I'll say it like that. Um, Turning to drugs, turning to liquor. Even though I drunk in the house all the time. But I used to always tell them this is not the way you want to go. You see me doing this, and I'm telling you this ain't the way to go. So now you can try it if you want to. If you go, and to this day, knock on wood, China the only one that want to drink, but they see, they know, and so they see what's going on, and they see what happens, and I tell them, the effects that it has on you. Miss Lawrence, how you doing? Um, I'm sorry, I just clicked into the other app thing like that. Anyway, um, as I was saying though, you gotta explain to them everything. Like, yeah, I'm drinking this liquor, but this liquor deteriorates the body slowly. Yeah, I'm smoking these cigarettes, but the cigarette deteriorates the lungs and the health slowly. I don't want to do it. It's a habit that I'm trying to break, but baby, you don't want this habit, so don't even get involved in it. You see what I'm saying? If you're
Right.
not doing that with your children, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because a lot, and like you said, but also we do know that parenting does not come with a manual. There, it does not come with a manual, and a lot of times what we find ourselves is doing is we're learning just like while we're trying to teach our children, we're still learning how to parent, how to allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to instill the proper knowledge within them sometimes, so
Yeah, yeah. Because without speaking too much on this camera, but one of our commandments is seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave. So that means in all facets, in everything that you do, in everything you do. So even if I'm raising this child, as I raise this child, the one thing that I discovered in raising these kids as they go along, you're always going to be raising these people because you're never too grown. You're never too grown, so you're always a parent. That's just something that you go to the grave as a parent. That's one thing, that's one title that you can't take away. So you're always there for your kids, no matter if you want to be there or not. You have that label. You have a responsibility. So if you don't take up that responsibility and that label sticks with you from the time that that child is brought here until the time that you're gone, then guess what? When you get upstairs to talk to duty, hey, you ain't do your job. You left your babies down there unattended.
That's a very good point there, because I know my mama's still trying to parent me to this day at the at the age of 48. She's still parenting.
You get it? You get it? My mama
know?
just called me a couple days ago. Baby, I was just checking. I just want to know what happened. What's wrong, Mom? I got it. Chill out. I got it. But I can understand, because now when my babies call me, I be like, y'all good? Is everything all right? But so I can't too much get down on Mom, like, why you always asking is everything all right? Yeah, it's all right. But at the same token, here I go to my kids. Hey, y'all good? Everything all right? You can't do that, because it's a role that you have to play no matter what time it is in life. Your mama could be 100 and you could be 78. She's still gonna become, baby, did you eat today?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's gonna do.
Oh, I get that phone call. Well, I was just calling. You don't call me like you should. You don't talk to me that often. I need to know what's going on in my baby's life.
Right,
you know. So,
and here's how you know that. Slightly off topic, but still the same thing, because we're talking about daughters, right? So
right.
when your girl has been around a father, I don't care how she might deem that father, but if her father did his job, she on your coattail the same way. Like, baby, I'm just making sure you ate today. What's going on? Did you have something? Did you eat breakfast? Did you do this? Did you do that? And y'all could be living in the same house or not living in the same house. That don't matter. She always, that motherly instinct don't go nowhere once your daughter becomes a parent.
Right.
She still gets that same instinct to check on you, just like you check on your babies. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So yeah. So with that being said, what about say for instance, what about when that father really does not have that good relationship with his daughter, and he is really trying or wanting to making amends with his daughter to where they can have some type of kinship? Because there are a lot of things that could go wrong in a home. There could have been a problem between mama and daddy, causing a split up between daddy and the kids, and the daughter, or it just could be absentee, just not being there. So if I was a father and I was trying to at least try to make amends or break the ice, so to speak, to try to build a relationship or build a bond with my daughter, what is something, what do you think would be a nice way to do that, or a way to kind of try to rebuild that bond? What are
Well,
some
see,
things that we can do?
what you're asking is a answer that would be broadly painted, because there's no one answer for the solution on this. And I know we're solution based, but there's no one answer that's the solution on that. The most I could tell a man when you're talking in that aspect is, when the window approaches, if you're a grown man and you looking and you see the window,
Right.
the window lifts up, and you can get in that window just a little bit. Knock the whole window off the picture frame. Do what you got to do. You let your actions speak, and you don't say a word. That's my key goal to you. If you have any problems with your children, if you get that crack in the window, I don't care if you got as many. I got 6 children with China. If the window cracks open a little bit, knock it open. Knock it all the way open with your actions. Be there. Support. Go all out your way, because you have to. Because you spent so much time away and out of the picture that now you're going to have to compensate to a way to where the child recognizes and say, okay, I know what he didn't do, but I see what he's doing. And so we can't bring up what happened, but we can definitely say right now when it's most important, because right now you might think it was more important back then to be there than it is now, but your children really start needing you around them 18 to 35 years. When that time kicks in, they really need a backbone and support, because they be going through life and life be breaking them, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that made me think about when I was in that age span. That's really when I needed somebody right over me with a whip. So
yeah, they need that foundation. Don't get me wrong. You should always have been there as a parent from the child to adulthood. But when they start, I'm grown now. No, you're not. Sit down. Shut up. You're not. You're not. You're just legal. You're just an adult. You're not grown.
Just legal.
And you always have to tell them, no, you're not grown. Believe me, when you get there, you won't even be telling people you're grown, because you're gonna know you're grown. You don't have to announce being grown. That's one thing about being grown. You don't have to announce it.
That is so true. I'm really sitting here. I'm trying to, I'm this really got me thinking. I'm thinking about my daughter so much right now, and
I get you. I understand.
So I mean, and I ain't gonna lie. I think this conversation is probably for me, because there's some things that I need to know, because I need to know how to approach some things. Just to be not just be the daddy, but actually be a father.
You know
I'm
what? You have to
48 and still learning.
Approach them in the manner that you don't know. Because if you approach something in the manner of you don't know, then you're in the learning stages. And if you are a true student, if you're truly learning, you won't fumble that ball, because what you'll be thinking is, okay, I don't know how to approach my child. I'm just approaching, and I'm trying to see where this window gonna open at, so I can get in and so I can do what I need to do. Until then, if you try to approach it boldly, or try to approach it like, oh, we gonna fix our no. You know you messed up. You already know you messed up. You already have announced to yourself that you have messed up. You have also told yourself that, hey, I have to fix the mess ups that I messed up. So the thing to do, like I said, is to put your action in front of you. Let your action show. If it ain't nothing but going to see the grandkids, if it ain't nothing but I want to offer you to go out to dinner with me, or hey, I want to offer you to go to this game with me, or I want to offer you this, offer you that. Whatever it takes to get in that little window, to get it open a little bit, to crack it, so that as you crack it open and it begins to open up all the way, then you can go back and say, well, I think we need to have a discussion about my mess ups. Because if we don't knock that wall down and get that wall out the way, then she always gonna have that as ammunition to fire back as soon as you make a mess up. Well, you wasn't here in the first place anyway, and you're gonna have to take that. So, but if you open the window wide enough to get in there and kind of get things together, then you can sit down with your baby and talk. And I believe that you can make an amend for all the things that went wrong, and you can continue to push forward into the future so that your daughters love you.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I understand that. That makes perfect sense. Then she has.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Seems like we have a caller.
That's a call. Let's go.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Beck. Hey, Des. Hey, Spicy. It's Kay Marie.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up, Kay?
Hey, I want to call in because this subject is very near and dear to my heart. Being a fatherless child, it is very important for girls. It's very important for all kids, but just from my personal experience, it's hard coming up trying to navigate the world of relationship with men when you never had that example put in your face. I am one of those people who at once upon a time felt like my daddy didn't want me, so what makes me think anybody else would want me? I was in that headspace. I also was able to identify, and some are not able to identify, as y'all stated earlier, that a lot of women grow up looking in their partner from what they're missing from their father. And I was definitely one of those girls. But yeah, I was looking more so for unconditional love. I had a very independent mother, worked at the post office, very spoiled, nothing, monetary I would have needed. What I needed was that emotional, unconditional love from a father, which I never got. So I think this conversation is very well needed. And for adult women who have absentee fathers, I would suggest that, you kind of dig deep because you can't heal wounds that you can't identify.
All right. Thank you.
So much truth in that. So much truth in that statement. You can't heal wounds that you can't identify, and so they just really just scab over, but they were never treated, and a lot of them can get infected with bitterness and hate and remorse as a result, and so you find yourself either looking for what you need in your partner, and when you look for that in your partner and you don't find it, then you find yourself being just a bit of a remorseful woman. But with that said, you guys hear the music playing. That means we will be back in 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
Let's do it.
Thing a daughter needs from her father. She needs you to show an example of the type of man she should be with. All right? As I started off this video, I said a father should be a daughter's first love. You are the standard bearer. You are the person who sets the stage for what kind of guy she will or will not embrace in her life. So you have to set that example. But guess what? Setting that example isn't just about how you treat your daughter, it's about how you treat her mother, all right? And any woman that you're romantically involved with, because your daughter is going to see how you handle women, how you are with other ladies. And if it's not a respectful relationship, if it's not a relationship that shows that you're a man of honor and great value and that you make sure that you create healthy relationships, well, guess what? That's going to validate in her mind, or it typically does for a lot of people, where she now excuses bad behavior because it's no different than what her father did. So if you want to set an example, you've got to make sure that it's not just in your relationship with her, but in the relationship that she sees you in with any woman. All right. And that's why you want respect. You want communication. You want just a healthy, positive environment to exist in your relationships. And again, this shows your daughter, hey, this is how we do things. this is what's acceptable, this is what's not acceptable. And that's going to go a long way towards making sure she ends up in the right relationship. So tip number 4 is she needs your positive reinforcement and encouragement. And with that said, I can point to so many examples and stories of where young girls growing up, accomplishing things or working towards a lot of great goals. And even though, yes, they knew their father loved them and they knew to a certain degree the father was proud of them, he wasn't expressive with it. He didn't let her know. He didn't really push her in the right direction. It was more so an approach of, well, what you should be doing, this is what I expect of you, but not really applauding, congratulating, and rewarding the great behavior, the great accomplishments, so on and so forth. So as a father, you want to be mindful of that. You want to make sure that you are pouring in positive reinforcement, that you are encouraging, that you are recognizing the great things that your daughter is doing, whether that be in her education, whether that be in her future career. Shoot, even with the type of relationships that she engages in, let her know that you're proud of the fact that she doesn't get involved with these toxic men, that she doesn't engage in behavior that's going to be detrimental to her in various ways. Let her know that you're proud of her in that way. You're proud of the woman that she's becoming, the little girl that she is at that moment, depending on her age. Pouring that into her is going to have such a huge positive impact. And when she knows her daddy is proud of her, that really pushes her to stay on the right track. That really empowers her to make sure she continues to do the things that you hold in high regard. So be sure to pour that into your daughter. And if you have to create a structure of reward to whatever it may be with school, because a lot of times I see a lot of parents is when it comes to education, it's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get the A, you're supposed to do this. But listen, creating a reward system is always a good thing. And the reality is that you're not working for free. You're working because you get a paycheck. So that child, that daughter of yours, going to school and getting good grades and getting something from that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the life we live in general. So there's nothing wrong with setting that dynamic up early on in their life. It doesn't mean that's the only reason she should be trying to get good grades or do good things. But people like to be recognized for their efforts. Children like to be recognized for their efforts. And all of those things go into positive reinforcement. So consider that as part of your encouragement for your daughter.
Okay. Thank y'all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Also, do not forget, this is not the end. Tomorrow, we will come back as the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour with Mr. Britton Carter as he discussed the domestic violence in his life in The Broken Barricade. And also make sure you tune in to Grown Men Talking next week as they come to you presenting the topic, The Side Chick's Unwanted Baby. That's going to be very interesting. Now back over to Des.
All right. Man, I agree with him again, being an example of, being an example of what to look for in a man. And I've been in situations in relationships before and I have actually had women tell me before, you know, my daddy said that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do this. My daddy never did that. My daddy always did this for me. My daddy did this, that, and the third. And I applaud them brothers. I applaud them. But at the same time, I'd have to tell them, okay, I'm not your father. Let me be me, you know. And then as far as, the positive reinforcement, that's one thing I will say. I have always encouraged my daughters to strive to be greater. As you said, Brother Mac, be greater than me. Don't just look at me and say, "Oh, Daddy did this, I'm gonna do that." No, do go above and beyond what Daddy did. And I'm so proud. I am proud of her because, like I said, she's very entrepreneurial. She has her own YouTube channel. She does hair and makeup tutorials. She even does discussion hours, just like we're doing now. So, do you think that the brother was coming correct when he was stating that we should do these things?
He kind of lost me. I'm I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm about to say, give it to me now. Give it to me
I,
now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely. He definitely lost him. He was half cocked on the message.
Okay.
First off, on the relationship with the mother, with showing the child how you treat her mother. I get it that you're not supposed to be abusive to the mother or things of that nature, but at the same token, if the mother is not being respectful or honorable to the father of the child, then what is he supposed to do? Just become a punching bag and just, oh, that's just how your mother is. That's just how things go. No, no, no. I don't agree with that. I agree with, if we're raising a child, then we're both supposed to be respectable around this child so that I can give this child a good sight on how I'm supposed to treat her as well as how I'm supposed to treat you. But you can't come hollering in my face, cursing me out, and things of that nature, and think I'm just going to be respectable. That's not how that goes. You give respect to get it. You
I
can't
say
just
that's a
be you
two-way
can't
street.
yeah, and you can't just be out taking respect. And far as the positive reinforcement, I get what he was saying, but again, he only gave half of the message because that's all you can do as a parent is positively reinforce the things that your child does if they're moving in positivity. However, if my child is doing something and I know that the thing that they're doing is going to be a detriment to their future, I cannot positively reinforce that no matter what it is. I can only say, hey, you gonna do what you wanna do, but you have to look at the other side of the puzzle as well. And I think that because a lot of women don't understand that when a man does that for their child, that they're only trying to give them both sides of the coin to look at so they don't make a half-cocked decision that you think I'm
Mhm.
speaking negatively to my child when that's not the case at all. I want my child to come in and make an informed, critical decision. Don't just jump into something because you think it looks good. Don't just jump into something without having
Mhm.
all the information on it. And that's where I think he should have went into a little bit more detail on it. And then, yeah, we could have had a better understanding. Now, did he say anything wrong? No. I think that women need to be treated and respected as such. And I
Okay,
think
I'm
that's
a,
all.
I'm a interact. Excuse me for interacting because I know he was speaking totally from the side of the a position that the father supposed to be and an example in the daughter's life.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't talking an abusive aspect, but my thing is on the flip side of the coin, as a man that goes for women as well, it doesn't just change just because he's a man. If
Right.
a woman is abusive, you should remove yourself from the situation for the mere fact that you do not want your daughter to come up and think it's okay to treat a man like that. But at the same time, you don't want to set the example that it's okay to be with the man that's supposed to put up with that abuse.
Absolutely not.
So,
Oh yeah.
when it comes down to the example, yes, he's totally right. That father is just like my ex used to tell me, well, um, it's all on a woman for to put the morals, the respect, and the skills and everything that a woman to be. That is incorrect. That father
No.
is put there for a purpose as well. God made mother and father, meaning that you work together as a team. The
Yes.
father is there to lay the foundation on what type of man she should be attracted to, what type of how the woman supposed to hold herself in order to be attracted to a sort of man. And by showing her through her mother how he's a man supposed to treat the woman, that's the foundation right there. But also
Exactly.
as the man, if you chose a woman that is abusive, then it's you to identify those red flags and remove your situation, not just for yourself, but as an
Exactly.
example for your children.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm with you 1,000%. With right. Hey, put that out there again.
I agree with you on that too, because because I do believe that if daughters, even though this is about the father-daughter relationship, I do believe a lot of times that when when females see how their mother treats their father, they have a tendency to take on some of those same characteristics when it comes to how they should treat their man.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And
That's
you
why
know,
it's not good to argue in front of your children. This is what people
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yes.
Do not
That's
argue
it.
or backlash one another because whenever I was in a relationship, I was like, not in front of the kids. If we have something to say, don't correct me in front of the kids. Do not say nothing negative in front of the kids. If anything, let's wait till the kids away or send them to the room or let's go to the room or let's go take a drive and we could discuss that way. Because you want to be careful because they just like sponges. They're going to take up whatever is dished out.
Absolutely.
oh
I
yeah,
couldn't I couldn't agree more. And that's what I mean. That it takes for the man in order to present respect, that woman has to understand that there needs to be respect there on both parts, not just me respecting you and you disrespecting me, and so therefore I can't give my daughter something to stand up and look forward to, because 9 times out of 10 the only thing I'm going to leave my daughter with is me leaving because I don't want to be disrespected, and I'm trying to be here so that my child can learn in the best perfect way that I can exemplify to them how a woman should be treated in front of them, so that when they get out here and they get a mate, the things that they see in a mate that will be the red flags, like you said, bro. Oh, my daddy said this. Mm-mm. I ain't never seen my daddy and them do that. Now, she don't have to express that out loud, but put it in your mind. Pay attention to what that man is doing to you, because you had a greatest example that could be given to you from your father and your mother. Pay attention, especially if they've been together for years.
paying attention is that's the one bill that's free.
Mm. I could. Hey, I agree.
You know, so I'm sitting, I'm trying to wrap my mind around what do so. I guess the question I'm trying to ask is, do you honestly, do not honestly, or do you think that the relationship, just like how K Marie said, the relationship that a daughter does or doesn't have with her father affects her outlook on life and outlook on relationships?
Absolutely, 100,000, 10%. Yes, I couldn't say that no different. Yes,
Okay.
if you and your daughter miss out that time and you don't go back and perfect as much as you can what was missing between father and daughter, then believe it's going to affect her. She's going to have trust issues. She's going to have abandonment issues. She's going to have
Mm,
a lot of things that go on with her simply because you weren't there. And that's 1,000% fact.
okay. I asked because just exactly what you just said. I have talked to women who have those issues because of
Mm-hmm.
the simple fact that they
Mm-hmm.
didn't have that relationship with their
Yeah,
father. I
yeah,
was just wondering if if it was just me that
yeah,
had
yeah.
seen
No,
that.
And
it's
actually, I'm
not.
gonna tell you, it's not just you coming from a person that is a daughter. I didn't have a bond or relationship with was supposedly be my dad. He never invested mentally, emotionally, or physically into my life. And what he put before me of abuse, it created a magnet to the wrong men. So when I say that men are an important part of a daughter's life, they are the master key.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's a harsh reality out here. That there are so many absentee fathers from the child's life, and we have to step off the stool of um, her mama so disrespectful and this and that and this and that and this and that. You have to set up other gateways. You have to set up other precepts to make sure that you are able to get to your child, and that the mother doesn't get involved in what you got going on with the child. Because if you continue to lean on excuses, you'll continue to make them.
Exactly.
Very true.
And I'm gonna say this as well for the women out there. And I know a lot of them don't want to hear it because I'm gonna say one statement and one question for the guys here. One statement is, women, it doesn't make you look good or make you a woman when you're bashing that father to that child. Stop speaking negativity into those children against a father. Your relationship with him and what went on between you and him in that relationship, that's y'all problem. That's y'all past. The relationship between that father and that daughter or that son, that's a total different relationship that has nothing to do with you. Only because you birthed that child doesn't give you ownership of that child, because he had a part of that child being conceived. So you have to be careful what you do, because that could go two ways. That could cause her to be poisoned against her father, but then it also could cause her to turn against you. So be careful what you say to your daughter about their father, which I say, do not say nothing negative about the father to your children, period. It doesn't make you a woman. It makes you look very childish, very deceitful, and it makes you look like a bitter woman, bottom line. And my question to y'all is, what do you feel that you can change in other lives when it comes down to the daughter, when they come to you like K. Marie said, I did not have that example? Because it doesn't matter how old you get. I'm 53 years old. And it still affects me. I still remember. I still feel. Because my thing is, I can sit here and say, Des, what is your daughter's favorite color?
Right.
Right.
What is her favorite food? Don't you think
Right.
her father should know that? So when you don't have to be in, you could be absent in the home, and you could be absent outside the home. So regardless if you're a provider and you living in the home, if you're not absent physically, mentally, emotionally, you're not a father. You haven't invested, and it's sad to say when you don't really know your child.
Right.
Well, I know my daughter just loves to eat. Period. She ain't got no favorite food.
This, I agree with you, Spice, when you speak of that, because listen, it's so. This is a person that we're talking about. First of all, if you snatch the title of father and son or father and daughter off, this is a person-to-person relationship, and this is a person that you're no doubtly supposed to be giving your unconditional love to, because this person is a part of you. And so, with that said, with this person that's a part of you that you know nothing about, then that in turn incomplete you as a man, because there's pieces of you out there that you know nothing about. There's pieces of you out there that you are missing time with, that you are missing effort with, that you have bad blood with. That's you. That's pieces of you that you haven't solved. And that's all we're saying.
And what would you say it speaks about that man when he doesn't know anything about his daughter?
Then he
Because
doesn't
like
know.
he said, that should be her first love.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
then,
if you know
go ahead.
nothing, if you know nothing about your daughter, that just means that, like Max said, you're not investing in her. You're not trying to know anything about her. You should know something about your child. You should have some type of relationship with your child. And I understand in some situations it's hard to for a father and a daughter to have a good relationship because of certain things that may have taken place. You know, certain things I won't touch on, but there are some relationships between some fathers and daughters just I believe can't be mended. They won't be mended because the pain and the hurt is too deep. And I hear music.
So we'll be
Y'all know
back
what it
at
is.
2 and
Here's
2.
two.
We'll be
Okay, I
right on back in here. We'll be right back in here.
Fifth reason, or the fifth thing that a daughter needs from her father is she needs to know you love her. Now, again, you may be thinking, well, of course I love her. Of course my daughter knows I love her. No, not necessarily. Do you say it? How are you showing it? How are you reinforcing and backing up the belief that you love your child? I think, let's start with saying it. Saying it is extremely important because so many people, and there are people watching this video right now who can agree to this. So many people grow up in a household where their parent does not say, I love you. All right? Where the father is not expressing to his daughter, I love you. I care about you. You're important to me. I value you as my daughter. They're not hearing it. And so you may feel like you're doing a bunch of actions that reinforce it, but the actions alone aren't going to be enough to really let this hit home in the way that it could. So you need words and actions. You need to say you love her and you need to show you love her. And when those two things come together and she can in confidence, because you got a lot of people say, well, I think my father loves me. That's not good. Like, she needs to be able to say, no, I know my father loves me. He tells me, he shows me all the time. This, again, goes back to creating healthy relationships, creating a healthy household, strengthening the bond between father and daughter. And that goes so far, not just in her life, but believe it or not, in your life too. All right, it's going to help you. When you have a stronger bond with your children, it's going to be a motivating factor in your life. It's going to be a fuel to your fire. It's going to help you get up in the morning on a different level than you are right now. So you want to strengthen that. And it's going to bring a level of pride to your life and also a reminder of how you need to be living because you have kids. You have young adults who are looking up to you, looking to your guidance, looking to your love in their life. So be sure to not just show your daughter you love her, but tell your daughter you love her. And when you embrace these 5 things, I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. It's going to create not just an amazing relationship with you and your daughter, but just in your household, in your life in general. And it starts to pour out into other ways. So
All right, all right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. It has been a very nutritional topic. Des is the one that came up with the topic idea, and it's been very fruitful. But make sure you tune in tomorrow, same time, as we bring to a head the domestic violence awareness with Mr. Britton Carter and the Broken Barricade. Make sure you set your notification because this is one story you don't want to miss out on. And make sure that you tune in to Grown Men Talking next week, next Friday. I'm telling you what they're going to discuss, and they're going to bring that heat on the side chick's unwanted baby. Let's see what's going to happen there. Now over to Des.
All right, y'all. I'm still tripping off next week's topic. But anyway, we here. But no, I will say once again, I do agree with him because even when I do the few times that I do talk to my daughter, like when we do talk, that's the last thing that we always say when we get off the phone. I have, baby, I love you, baby girl. Love you too, daddy. So, I do agree with that because even though you like you said, you can be showing that you love your child, but for them to hear it, just like I think that was Brother Mac where, or no, I was talking to somebody. No, I think that was Brother Mac. And he said that he never, got that in a sense. It was somewhere along those lines, not being, told that you're appreciated or told that you love. And I do believe that if a father does not always not only show the love for the children but express it verbally, that can be damaging and that can be somewhat become an illusion. Like you said, I think he loves me. He say he acts like he loves me, but I don't really know because he never tells. uh Brother Mac, I was just wondering, I mean, as you were raising your girls, going through your ups and downs, did you positively verbalize that you did love them?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My daughters. Now that's one thing I'm key on. With my daughters, with my son. Yes, absolutely. That was my thing because, like I said, I knew how it felt, and I know how it feels to feel like confusion because you're thinking that, well, I don't know. Like maybe they love me, maybe they don't, because they'll say, "I love you today," and then tomorrow you stupid this and dumb that. You see what I'm saying? And that's so. One of the things that I never did when I spoke with my children is I never name called them. You know, I don't believe, and I didn't allow their mothers to do it. None of that. And I only got two baby mamas for the record. My oldest daughter, and then one mother for all the rest. And I never allow nobody. You can't do if you say anything negative like that to my girls or my son. We're going to have an issue because they are still human beings. They are still people, and they still have feelings and emotions. You can't talk to them like they're stupid. You can't treat them like they're dummies. They're not. They're people. They make mistakes just like we did when we were children. Learn from the mistakes that your parents made with you so that you don't recreate them mistakes in your kids' life and then represent the effects of calling them out of their name that you really don't want, because I was a victim of reproducing the effects that my parents didn't want after all of the name calling and things like that, because you confuse the child. The child don't know.
Well, so I do I agree with you on that too, because the words that we say as parents, I do believe that they do affect our children in the long run. How we speak to them, how we teach them, how we learn from them even affects them in the long run. And I do believe that it is important for a father to be in his daughter's life, and like I said earlier in the show, I found myself overcompensating, trying to make up for what I felt I lacked with my own daughter. And I'm not taking anything away from any of the children that I've helped raise, or I've had the blessing to be a part of their life, because I can honestly say that they've all grown up to be beautiful people, very, very successful and very outgoing. So I would say that I do believe that it is important for us as fathers to be in our daughter's life. And if you're not being in your daughter's life, try. Try. All you can do is try. Nothing hurts worse than someone who's not trying. So anything else you got to say along those lines, Brother Mac, or
I
any words of wisdom?
I think you brushed that right up in the dustpan the way it was supposed to go. So I will say that with that, to the fathers that are here and to the mothers that are here listening, make sure that the the number one priority in the children's life is the safety and the well-being in their upbringing. That's the only other thing that I can think of to add to that. After what he said, it's perfectly explained to you. So just make sure the safety and the well-being, especially when we speak on their mental health and awareness, please make sure that those things are intact, because we have so many children that are taking the back door route out. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't have to describe it. Please be there for your children, and that's all I want to say on that.
All right. Miss Spicy, you got anything you wanna add in there?
Well, mainly I want to say, because I know a lot, some just came in. When it come down to a father and a daughter, us as women need to respect and step back and allow them to be what they need to be and God constructed them to be in their daughter's life. Men out there, that's the most valuable thing to have in your corner is your daughter. I have seen some sweet relationship between daughters and the father, and I've seen some that are very toxic and some that got a lot of anger because the father didn't try to be there. And all I'm going to say is that when you decide to have children, whether it's by choice or not, that is a beautiful gift to have in your life. And don't wait till it's too late, because when it's too late, you cannot get back the time that you lost. So it's time to man up, and it's time for women to step down. Let that daughter be in that father's life and keep the poison out of her life.
Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't have said that no much too much better. So is there anything else that you would like to let the people know about, Spicy?
Well, not too much. It's just I just want to thank everyone for coming in and supporting the guys. Dwight has something going on, as we know. We lifting up in prayer. King D, he did chime in for a minute. Mr. Britton had to work, so we just sending our love out to the guys. I really appreciate everyone that comes on every week to show love to the guys. We will have them all back next week. Mr. Britton, please come on and support him. He has a story that you do not want to miss out on. This is Domestic Violence Month. Let's all join in unity, supporting and stand our ground, and breaking the generational chain of abuse. Y'all have a great evening.